I have never done anything like that before.
I know.
That must have been your first time as well.
Yes. Yes, it was.
I knew it must be so because you are still beautiful. All the women who follow the army look like they have been touched by too many ugly men.
You did not look ugly when you touched me.
When I first saw you, I knew how Adam must have felt when God tore out his rib to make Eve.
The Bible says that Eve was wicked because she tempted Adam to eat the apple. It was her fault they both had to leave the Garden of Eden.
I was at the Battle of Navarra.
Yes, when you were a soldier.
Well, just because you do not believe me, that does not make it untrue.
Go on then. Tell me about the Battle of Navarra.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the Garden of Eden.
I did not realize Eden was in Navarra.
Oh, if I did not love you, I would probably have to cut your throat. I was at the Battle of Navarra.
Yes.
And several weeks later, an officer read out the official account of the battle written by a historian in Madrid. It was wrong in every respect. The man who wrote it may have been very learned, but he had never been in a battle. I learned something last night.
I could teach you some more.
As I was saying...
I keep interrupting.
You do.
Grandmother says that I've been very badly brought up and need a firm hand.
She was a wise woman. I was at the Battle of Navarra. I have heard stories of sailors who threw themselves into the ocean because they were dazzled by the light in the sea. And they died because God made the ocean bitter, but you taste sweet. See, the men who wrote about the Garden of Eden were not there any more than they were at the Battle of Navarra. They were wrong in every respect.
How do you know this?
Because I was there.
Are you still talking about the Battle of Navarra?
I'm talking about Eden.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I thought I was walking away from something. But I see now that I was walking towards you.
Have you walked a long way?
I have walked my whole life just to be here now. And I think I've had enough of walking. I might like to ride in a wagon.
Do you know what I'd like? I would like some breakfast.
Okay.
I'm always hungry after the sun comes up.
All right, well, tell me a story while I see if there's any food left.
We were talking about Adam and Eve. I think I'll tell you the tale of the 3 apples. In the days of Caliph Harun al-Rashid, a young man came to the royal palace and confessed to killing his wife. He said that there was no life left in him after her death, and to let justice be done. All the court gathered round to hear his story. He said he loved her, and Allah had blessed their union with 3 fine sons. One day, she fell ill, and he asked if there were anything he could do to make her feel better. She replied that she had a great longing for an apple. The man replied that even if she had 1,000 longings, he would try to satisfy them all. For 2 days he searched the city and couldn't find apples for any price. His wife grew weaker, and he became frantic. He travelled to Basora, which was a week's journey in each direction, to the Caliph's own gardens, and bought 3 apples. But when he sat them before her, she didn't want them, as her sickness had increased. After a time, she began to recover, and the man went back to his business. That day, a slave walked past his window eating an apple. When asked where he had found it, the slave said that he had it from his mistress, who had told him that her fool of an husband had gone all the way to Basora for it. The man immediately ran home and saw 2 apples by the side of his wife's bed. He asked her what had happened to the 3rd apple. She raised her head and said that she did not know. His suspicions confirmed, he killed her at once. After disposing of the body, he came home to find his eldest son crying. The boy said that he had taken one of his mother's apples and gone down an alley to play with his brothers. A slave had stolen the apple and wouldn't give it back, even though he told the slave that his father had gone all the way to Basora to fetch it for his mother, who was ill. The boy asked his father not to tell, in case his mother should be angry with him. The man told his son that she would never know, and then he made his way to the palace. This is a very instructive tale. The moral is that a man should always believe everything a woman says or bad things will happen.
I agree that your story is instructive, but I think you are mistaken about the moral. The tale very clearly warns us of what happens when women make impossible demands on men.
A good tale has many meanings, but that is not one of them. It says that men would rather die than look after children.
He does not go to the palace to find a nurse for his sons. He goes because his soul is sick. And why is that? Men move heaven and earth to make women happy, and they do not even notice.
That's because men never know what women really want.
And that is because women never tell them.
Yes, they do. Men just don't listen. This discussion is a waste of time.
Only because you are getting the worst of it.
No, because I told you I wanted breakfast, but you didn't listen.
Here. On the battlefield, Carmelita is better than a dozen generals. On the morning of the battle, the generals give their orders, but the men are not thinking about strategy. They are thinking about death. Carmelita makes them think about victory. When the generals tell them to charge, they lie in their trenches until Carmelita tells them to fight. When the cannons have covered the field in smoke and every man thinks he is alone, it is Carmelita who reminds them of their brothers. She has sent many men to their deaths. She does not care about them. She only cares about beauty. Can you play?
Oh, I think so. I've watched you and it doesn't look too difficult. What would you like to hear?
Surprise me. What is the matter?
Matter? the matter. It's just that I know a great many gypsy tunes, and I've not yet decided which one to play. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever heard.
I have heard that sound before. That is the sound a goose makes when it is strangled. I have strangled geese, but I did not know then that I was making gypsy music.
It's broken!
There are only two things I have ever been able to do well.
That's like me. There are only two things I've ever done badly. I'm glad Carmelite is difficult to play. It means we'll make more money. You will play and I will dance. We'll travel from town to town in a wagon and we'll be rich.
I would like to do that. But I cannot play in public.
Yes, you can. No one robs a gypsy. They call us names, but they don't hurt us. Hurt one, hurt all. We do not forget.
That is not what I fear. I look like anyone else, but if I start to play, I will be known. And you know what they do to deserters.
I know you're not a soldier. You can stop pretending.
I never finished telling you Alphonse's story.
That's because it was too sad and too ordinary.
Even the great live ordinary lives. Alphonse was with the army when they crossed over a ridge. The officers told them that in the valley below all the people were evil. He saw that the villages in this valley looked the same as the villages they had just left and was dismayed at the subtlety of the devil. They were told to take what they wanted from the villages and set the houses on fire. Alphonse stepped up to a door and knocked. Another soldier who was not brought up to be so polite rushed straight in. Inside the house it was dark. In a corner he saw a pile of clothes and a wooden box. Inside the clothes was an old man, and inside the box were some silver buttons and an old sword that was nearly rusted through and a battered brass trumpet.
Are the silver buttons important?
I remember that they were there.
That's no reason to mention them. Now they're in my head, rattling around, and I can hear nothing else.
They would not rattle so if you stuffed something in your mouth.
Children hear the teacher when it's too late to learn the lesson.
Alphonse tried to blow into the trumpet, but it did not make a sound. The old man moved then, and Alphonse turned to look at him. The man spoke words in a strange language and grabbed the trumpet. He raised it to his lips and blew. Alphonse felt warm, like sunlight had been poured into his body through his ears. And then the soldier stabbed the old man through the chest. Alphonse fought with the other man until the other man fell. He took the trumpet and ran. The army moved on, and Alphonse learned how to play, and the other soldiers liked to hear him play, and he became popular. It was the first time he had found something he could do well. He knew he had committed a sin, but God did not seem displeased. The soldier he had attacked had not died immediately. He was injured for a long time and had caught a fever. Then, just before the end, he named his killer. 8 men were sent to arrest Alphonse. That is when his feet made their mistake.
That is a foolish story.
It is the only one I have. I was a farmer, but I made nothing grow. I was a soldier, but I only fought my own side. I am a musician. But no one can hear me play.
If you will not play, then you are useless.
Is there something else I could do?
Is there something else you can do?
I am strong.
Horses are strong. We keep them as slaves.
We will find a way. What does it matter if we love each other?
Grandmother says the rich think love is all that matters. The poor know that it is money. If you had really been a farmer or a soldier, I would not have to tell you these things. Whatever you were, if you cannot do anything now, I cannot love you.
Damn your grandmother's shrunken hairy tits. You are a shallow little girl. I should never have spoken about love to one so young.
Shallow? You would not have called me so if I had been ugly. You would not have spoken to me at all.
Better if you had been. Then I would have had a decent night's sleep. I cannot make you money. You cannot make me happy, so you may as well leave.
Is it your land that you order me off it? You leave.
I will. for the entertainment.
It will cost you more than that!
I was not aware of the going rate. Put Carmelita down, girl. You cannot set a price afterwards.
Be thankful I only take your gold!
Oh, well, you hold that blade like a fishwife. There are only two things I have ever been able to do well. That is the other one. See? I am not useless.
We do not need thieves!
Oh, I suppose the gypsy caravan will have enough of those already. Goodbye. There are men coming. They are dressed like soldiers.
I don't believe you!
And look, everything I have ever told you is true.
It's my curse to love an idiot!
Stay here, hide. I will lead them away from you.
No, you hide. They're not looking for me.
Look, soldiers are always looking for women. You know what they will do.
That doesn't matter. They will kill you. They'll only stab me with blunt knives.
I will not let you go.
Will you be silent?
You bitch!
There's no reason to sing an aria. Women make less noise bearing children. They're here.
Give me the knife. Look, stay behind me.
Goat herds. You try to frighten me with goat herds.
I swear they must have gone another way.
You looked so brave. Like Samson. Only he fought with the jawbone of an ass. You speak with one. Stop smiling! You're not supposed to smile when I insult you. Must I teach you everything?
You said you loved me.
I didn't mean it.
Yes, you did.
I took pity on you. I thought you were about to die. How could I love you and let you go away? How could I love you knowing you do not love me?
But I do.
Liar, you will not even play for me.
I will play whatever you like.
I mean play for me to dance in the marketplace so that we can live.
We do not live by bread alone.
That does not mean that we can live without bread. If you loved me, you would play.
You are right. I have never been a soldier. I did not desert. I am not hunted by a man with a thin beard who walks with a limp and has a scar down the right side of his face. That was all a story. I am a musician, but I only played in the courtyard of my mother's house. I have been afraid to play in the street in case men rob me of the little I have left. Look, let us go to your father and your grandmother. I will play and you will dance. Let us be married and love each other until we are parted by death.
You should not love me. Everything I have told you is a lie.
That does not matter. I do not love you for what you said, but for who you are.
I'm not good enough for that kind of love. After 3 nights Don Dioseda threw me out of his bed, and my father, to save his honor, threw me out of his wagon. Now I dance in taverns. But that does not pay enough for me to live, so I have to. In 2 years I have never been more than 10 miles from Cardenas. You would not want me if you knew all that I have done. I'm a gypsy who has nowhere to go.
I have somewhere to go. I am going to play in the market square. And if you would dance as well, we might make some money.
Look, Alphonse. If I wear this scarf, just so, I'm a Persian princess.
Then how do you come to be living in a barn on the outskirts of Cardenas?
That is an interesting story, but not one I will tell to idle gawpers. If you really want to hear how I was stolen from my father the Sultan and brought to this place, you will first have to prove to me that you are not idle and not gawping. A tale is told by the ear that hears. Show me that your ears are ready.
Oh, and then I pass the hat. Oh, yeah. Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Majesty, gifts from your people.
Is that it? I see that you do not believe me. In my native land, you would all have been staked out on the desert sands and been covered in scorpions. Oh, how have I come to this? But you do not wish to hear that story. Play something Persian.
I do not know any Persian music.
Oh, what does that matter? Play something that makes an ignorant dirt farmer think of silk and lotus blossoms. My native land cuts my heart in two. Despair is my only consolation. If only I could share the burden that weighs upon my soul with a friend who had a refined and sensitive spirit. But alas, I am surrounded by those who care more for the coppers jingling in their pockets than the story of how I, to escape being ravished by...
Go on.
I need 10 reals.
We only have 50.
That is the wrong answer.
Oh, yeah, but we do only have 50.
That's 5 times 10. If I had said, I need 100 reals, then you could speak sadly of our only having 50. As it is, you should say, here they are, Emina, go with God.
Fernando wants 50 reals for his wagon.
That means he will accept 35.
Yeah, but he said
If you listen to what people say, you'll never understand anything. He's lying. That is how good, honest business is conducted.
Why do you need 10 reals?
Here they are, Emina, go with God.
Here they are, Emina, go with God.
I need to buy more of these shawls.
Why? You can't wear more than one.
After we arrive at a new village, all the young girls will want to look like me. They will sell for 10 times their price.
How is it that you do not already rule the world?
Ever since I was stolen from my father, the Sultan, the curse of an Ifrit has clouded all the days of my life. Until I met you. I'll be back in an hour with the beginnings of our fortune.
Did you forget something?
No. No, I did not. Did you think I would?
No, I knew you would be here before long. I had hoped to be somewhere else by then.
Bad news travels fast.
Fair winds bring foul weather. How is the leg?
Clumsy. It aches during the winter.
I don't suppose a sincere and heartfelt apology would make a difference.
No need. I took no offense. I am surprised to see you again. Why did you not take a ship to the New World?
I would have missed the Spanish climate.
They say the same sun shines on the Americas.
What I did to Miguel was no less than justice.
That is why you must be punished for it. The men understand greed. They understand lust. They understand anger, even law, up to a point. Justice is strange to them. I say, is that chorizo?
Please.
Thank you. This is excellent.
Local recipe.
Please don't concern yourself with my pistol. It is of no consequence. There are 2 platoons of cavalry outside this barn.
They could not stop me from killing you, with or without that gun. Wine?
Thank you. Ah! Oh, that's vinegar.
Another local recipe.
You will not kill me. Unless you poison me with this wine, you concern yourself with justice.
Oh,
remember?
You can never be certain what a man will do. Why risk your life instead of laying an ambush?
Do you have any bread? Thank you. Then you would have been killed, and by the time your body was brought back to be properly hung, it would have been almost unrecognizable. The effect would be diluted. And then there is the young woman.
No!
I only mention her so that you appreciate how badly this could all end. You are a fortunate man. Few have the opportunity to end their days with such a flower.
Look, I have no quarrel with you.
Nor I with you. What has that to do with anything? I am sworn to protect His Majesty's army, and right now you are more dangerous than 100 cannons. Yes, you are. When you ran Miguel through with your sword, did you ask yourself what would happen if others acted in the same way?
Well, then he would have had to have been buried with a closed casket.
You killed him because you thought he did wrong. Killing him is acceptable. Thinking about right and wrong is not. We cannot have every man asking himself whether it is right or wrong to march, to advance on the enemy, or to retreat. There would be no organization. Without organization, an army cannot win.
Am I really so important?
No. You are nothing. I thought I had explained that.
It does not make any sense.
No doubt. Now, will you come with me, or must my men kill you first?
Is that a real diamond?
Yes. I think so.
In that case, I will do as you ask. But first you must give it to me.
This diamond cost me considerable time and trouble. You would not enjoy it for very long.
I might enjoy it for a week. You might enjoy it for several more. In 1,000 years, what will it matter? Please.
Take it, then. I will take it back soon enough.
That is what God said to the man who first dug this out of the ground.
Perhaps. Soon you will be able to ask him.
I beg you for one more favour. I dislike our army priests. And 2 miles down the road to Cardenas there is a church. In half an hour I wish to leave here and go to confession. It would be a kindness if you and your men followed at a discreet distance. And then when I leave the church, I am yours.
It will be as you ask.
That is good of you.
No. It is merely civilized. I did not expect you to appreciate the distinction. Thank you for lunch.
It's right that you should be miserable whilst I'm away, but I'm back now, so you can be happy again. I got a very good deal on the shawls. The shopkeeper was there with his wife, so I turned my head sideways and spoke to him like this. And when I wished to make a particular point, I lay my hand on his arm. This made her very upset, and he gave me a bargain just to be rid of me.
With the wagon and some goods to sell, you do not need me for anything.
That's true. I keep you with me out of charity.
I am sure you would not miss me if I were gone.
I've forgotten you already. Oh. Sir, I do not know how things are in your part of the world, but I assure you that here in Spain a strange gentleman may not greet a lady in such a familiar manner. Unhand me, or face the wrath of my duenna.
For you, I am willing to risk the fury of a dozen old maids.
I feel it only right to warn you. She can say many cutting things. You would be quite perplexed.
That is a worry. I will have to marry you so that your duenna will be appeased.
And why should I wish to marry you? Look at yourself. You're practically dressed in rags.
But I have a winning personality.
And men care how women look. Women care what men have. No one cares about personality.
That is disappointing. This ring has been in my family for 6 generations. If you will not have me, I may as well give it to the poor.
That would be a terrible waste. They wouldn't appreciate it. Give it to me instead.
You would take a husband just to save a pretty ring?
I have been schooled in self-sacrifice from an early age.
That is well. I will be a very difficult husband.
I will not mind that. As long as you do everything I say.
That is fair. There is a church 2 miles from here.
Then let us leave this place and never come back.
Do you know, I think I am becoming a better liar.
That's good. Soon you'll be ready for the world.
Yes. I think I'm beginning to understand it now.
Now go to the back of the wagon and lie down. I'll tell you the rest tomorrow. Did you know that near here there's an enchanted village where only good things ever happen? It's true. I swear. I swear it by your father's ring. I'd take you there, but I've already been and I can't go back. That's part of the enchantment. We can only stay for a month and a day, and then we have to leave forever. Why? That's a long story. You're sleepy. I'll tell you another time. And if I forget, the world will tell you soon enough.
The Falcon was written by David Klempner, with music composed by David Sutton Anderson. Alphonse was played by Tom Warner, Emina by Alex Topham-Timon, and the Soldier by John Savanti. Trumpet was Anthony Aarons, and saxophone Melanie Henry. Technical production was by David Stevens. The play was recorded at Trinity School, Croydon, and produced by AK67.